Cobra is shocked and infuriated that Imu had Saturday on the throne that was meant to be empty. Imu reveals to Cobra the meaning of the D initial. Those with the will of D were united to conspire against the world government. The enemies of the first 20, as well as many O'Hara scholars, bore the initial. Furthermore, Lily's actions during the Void Century caused poneglyphs to be spread around the world, which caused problems for the world government. Imu wonders whether or not Lily spread them by accident, or she did so intentionally to plot against the government. Suddenly, the 5 elders take out their weapons, prepared to kill Cobra since he saw Imu. Knowing that his death was inevitable, he decided to reveal that Lily's full name was Nefertari D. Lily, indicating she had the will of D with this. Imu sends out a spear-like appendage from his body, piercing through Cobra. Sabo, who had been listening in, intervenes, attempting to rescue Cobra and attack Imu with his devil fruit abilities. Mushi takes pictures of him near Cobra's body, and the 5 elders all transform into awakened Zoan forms. Sabo attempts to get away while carrying Cobra's body, but is too slow and is pierced by Imu. Cobra sacrifices himself so Sabo could escape alive, telling him to tell Luffy and Vivi that the entire Nefertari family bears the name D. Wapol, witnessing the incident through a peephole in the wall, enters a frenzied panic, afraid of being killed for having seen Imu. He chews through several walls, eventually entering the room where Vivi has been tied up. CP0 captured Vivi to make her disappear along with her father, with the intention of selling her as a slave to a world noble. Fortunately, Wapol appears and chews right through the room, and Vivi sneaks out of the room in Wapol's mouth. As they both flee Marijua, Wapol's wife, Cinderella, is outraged seeing Wapol with another woman. Igaram, Pell, and Chaka became concerned that Cobra had not returned from his meeting, as well as Vivi's disappearance. Vivi, safe with Wapol, snuck past Marines and approached the port. They hid in a cargo crate and became stowaways on the Igus Kingdom's ship. Using Wapol's Den Mushi, they contacted Morgans, who agreed to harbor them in exchange for their story. Because of this, news of Cobra's death and Vivi's disappearance were spread around the world. While Bunny escaped on the Tajina Kingdom's ship, Sabo also snuck out of Marijua, avoiding the Ghost Knights who are searching for him. After subduing a knight and taking his armor, he disguises himself as a knight and infiltrated the Lulusia Kingdom's ship. He became a stowaway, hiding below the deck. Because Sabo was framed for Cobra's murder, several kingdoms, including Lulusia, became the subjects to revolution. Before Sabo could arrive in Lulusia, the kingdom's citizens had deposed its monarchy and imprisoned King Seiki and Princess Kalmana. When Sabo revealed himself, the citizens praised him, and although Sabo wanted to explain he was innocent, he chose not to so the revolutions could take place. Sabo took several citizens who wanted to join the revolutionary army with him to the Kamabaka Kingdom. He attempted to inform the other members of the revolutionary army, but the world government intercepted the signal. Imu decided to unleash the Mother Flame, one of Vegapunk's weapons, on Lulusia, destroying it. Only the citizens that sailed with Sabo survived. Finishing his story, Sabo tells Ivankov and Dragon about the existence of Imu. Ivankov suggests that Imu might be Nerona Imu, one of the first 20, who has somehow since remained immortal. Also, given the black cloud that appeared over Lulusia, Sabo suggests that it could not be a natural disaster. He suspects it must be one of Vegapunk's inventions and also an ancient weapon in use, though he wonders why the world government had not used it before. Meanwhile, back in Marijua, Moscard is executed by Saint Figarland Garland, head of the God's Knights, for going against another world noble. At the Marine G1 branch coastal ship scrapyard, Commodore Brandu tells Jingo and Fullbody that when Monkey D. Garp was young, he would use battleships as punching bags as opposed to sandbags, which is why some of the ships have caved in bows. Jingo is left in disbelief that Garp would use ships to train, while Fullbody asks why there is a second one with a caved-in bow. Brandu reveals that the other ship was punched by Kuzan back when he was still Garp's student. Brandu then reveals that neither Garp nor Kuzan used hockey or devil fruit powers when punching them, so the strength the two acquired was well earned. On Hashinasu, Garp throws Sun Huang Wolf into the sea, prompting the Blackbeard pirates to scramble to save him before he drowns. Vasco Shot drinks some alcohol before shooting it at Garp after setting it on fire. A movie called Shugarapu. Garp grabs the pirates and uses them as shields, protecting himself but setting the other two on fire. Avalo Pizarro, who was watching while still merged with the island, asks Garp if he plans on decimating the entire island. The other pirates fear that Blackbeard will kill them if he sees the state the island is in, and also fear how Garp is not faltering despite the Blackbeard pirates' sheer numbers. Kayako, who is on board Garp's ship which is now back out at sea, calls Garp asking for the citrus. Hibari has been defrosted with Tashigi watching over her, while Kayako tells Garp that the captured citizens and injured Marines have all set out, so they can leave whenever. Garp acknowledges this and tells Kobe, Prince Chris, and Helmeppo to retreat. However, Kuzan recovers from Garp's last attack and tells his former mentor that he cannot let him leave. Helmeppo starts freaking out as Gris asks Garp if he thinks he is also the future of the Marines. But his words go unheard as Garp tells the three of them to make for the sea at all costs while he holds off the enemy. Kobe then hears a woman screaming for help, and he immediately rushes to help her. But when he gets close enough, he discovers too late he was set up. Thankfully, Garp saves him from Shiryu, who tries to sneak up on him while invisible and stab him with his sword, which only goes through Garp. Though hurt, Garp punches Shiryu then slams him into the ground, defeating him. Helmeppo and Gris get worried, while Kobe apologizes for being tricked and needing him to be saved. But Garp explains that Shiryu was aiming at him the whole time. The Blackbeard pirates start getting hopeful that they can't take Garp down now that he's injured, with special motivation being that he is worth around 3 billion deli at the Cross Guild. Kuzan rushes forward and tells the others that even if they bind Garp's arms and legs, they still will not be able to kill him. He then prepares to use a move called Ice Glove. In a flashback, a young Kuzan asks Garp to train him, but Garp refuses, telling him to learn from the instructors, though Kuzan tells him he already knows everything he can from them. Though Garp still told him no, he eventually found himself doing so, with the two of them using battleships as punching bags. At first, Kuzan struggled because he was not as strong as Garp, but as time passed, his punches eventually reached the same level as Garp's. By the time Kuzan became Admiral Aokiji, his relationship with Garp was still strong. Until the present day, Kuzan tells Garp he raised a troublesome enemy in him, but Garp tells Kuzan he is done with him while calling him a foolish student, and they strike each other with hockey-coated fists, creating a huge shockwave that blows both of them back. Pizarro tells the Marines that their hopes of escaping Ashina were slim because of how many pirates are on the island. He also tells them that their ship is not safe from him, and he proves it by morphing part of the island into a giant hand to crush Garp's ship, all the while proudly declaring that this action will make him stand out among the Blackbeard pirates. Kobe desperately begs him to stop, but Garp tells the young captain to calm down because justice will always prevail. All the Marines on Garp's ship are panicking because of Avalo Pizarro attempting to crush them with a giant hand made from the island. None of the cannons work against it, so Tashigi orders everyone to abandon ship and protect the civilians. On the island, Kobe is still panicking over Pizarro's threat, but Garp tells him, Prince Gris, and Helmeppo that the three of them can't save their allies together. Garp explains that he will provide an opening. Kobe will destroy Pizarro's hand, Gris will protect the ship from the debris of the resulting destruction, and Helmeppo must make sure no one interferes with Kobe or Gris. Just as Kobe is about to tell him that they cannot do something like this, Garp stops him and tells him that they need to be able to make decisions like this in a snap. Immediately, all three of them take off with the other pirates chasing after them. Gris asks if Kobe has any weapons with which to stop Pizarro, to which Kobe answers that he does not and will have to make do. Helmeppo uses himself as a shield to keep Kobe and Gris from getting hit by one of the pirates' cannon fire. While Garp stands back up, Kuzan asks him where he plans on going with injuries like that, but Garp merely calls them scratches as he charges at his former pupil, knocking him down and swiftly making his way all the way to the large skull rock Pizarro was looking through. Pizarro tries to intimidate Garp into standing down, but he fails as Garp uses a powerful attack called Galaxy Divide to split the rock formation down the middle, while also simultaneously damaging Pizarro's main body. With Pizarro's arm now raised, Kobe is granted the opening he was promised and jumps into the air. Meanwhile, Garp reminisces on a conversation he had with Helmeppo about how Kobe has been improving, but always has bandages wrapped around his hands. Helmeppo explains he was asked by Kobe to keep quiet, but he ultimately reveals to Garp that he had been training intensely in private, so he can't be one of the best Marines there is. He even went as far as to use Garp's battleship bags to hone his strength, punching them to the point that his fists bled. In the present, Kobe comes face to face with Pizarro's hand as all of his friends beg him to escape with them. But in a shocking turn of events, Kobe unleashes Honesty Impact, a punch that splits Pizarro's entire hand in half, while Pizarro recoils from the pain. Everyone else is left astonished by Kobe's incredible feat. Helmeppo catches him while Gris uses Guanyo no Su to create a clay spider web to catch the debris. The three of them get on board the ship, and the Marines celebrate just as Garp calls them to report that the mission was a success. When Tashigi asks him to come back quickly, Garp instructs everyone to leave the island. assuring them that he can't save himself and that their safety is the top priority. He also tells them that this event will become known as a threat to all pirates, as he calls them the future of the Marines. Kobe immediately wants to go back for him, but Chris refuses to disobey Garp's order. Having been impaled by Kuzan with a sword of ice that is also freezing him, Garp lies on the ground but simply laughs as the other Blackbeard pirates surround him. The narration then reveals that in tomorrow's newspaper, the major headlines included Kobe's rescue, Garp's disappearance, and Monkey D. Luffy barricading himself on Egghead, which is being approached by the fleet of Marine warships.